What's up, guys? It's Lane, and thank you for joining me. Not going to be singing in this video, but I just had a question, and just kind of wanted to have a little bit of a discussion about worship and what it is and how we can do it and why we do it, etc., etc. So, what is it, right? So, worship is when you and I and all of us just give everything to God and we realize He's God, we're not, and He's omnipotent, and He is God, and that without Him we are nothing, and we are relaying that in a sense that our soul is crying out to God saying, we need you, we want you, we love you. And we do it in multiple ways, right? We do it through music, obviously. We can do it through giving our tithes and offerings. We can do it by just praying and thanking, and we can do it by making sure that we are doing what He's called us to do by making disciples of all nations and just preaching the word and just telling people about God. And we can also do it just by loving on people. But the main key point here is to understand that God has a plan, and He has a thing going on, and we are to realize that. Now, from a music perspective, the one thing I've always said is the one thing that everybody on this planet has in common is that music touches our soul. Doesn't matter if it's Christian music, doesn't matter if it's hip hop, doesn't matter if it's rap, rock, alternative, metal, doesn't matter, right? I listen to all kinds of stuff. I listen to heavy metal. I'm not talking like Metallica. I'm talking like August Burns Red. I'm talking like A Day to Remember, which is kind of more pop rock. But I mean, I listen to all kinds of stuff, right? So, but all the bands that I'm listening to, if you actually listen or you read their lyrics, if you can't understand what they're saying, read their lyrics and see what they're talking about. They're worshiping God. They're realizing, I'm a sinner. I can't do anything myself. I'm relying on you. And I think worship is the self-realization that we have to rely on God. We cannot do it. And whenever you realize that, that's when worship actually starts to take effect, because you are not self-indulged anymore, and you are worshiping the Creator. Everything that you have, everything that you see, He has made, and He has made possible. The air you breathe, the grass, the trees, the sky, I mean, He made it. He spoke it into existence, and it was. And so why not worship Him, I guess, right? So, not saying that going to church and raising your hands is wrong, because that's obviously not it, but I feel like in today's culture it's become a trend to go and raise your hands but not really pay attention to what the words are and what you're singing, right? You might, but a lot of it might tend to be more of a show, and I hate saying that, but it's possible that that's the case. Excuse me. As a worship leader, I believe you cannot lead a church, a small group, whatever. You cannot lead worship without being led. I look at it like this. You can't be a trail guide who is going to take somebody to the top of whatever mountain and you've never been there before, right? You can't do that, because you're just kind of as lost as everybody else, right? So as a worship leader, as a pastor, as a small group leader, as a youth minister, whatever it is, you have to be led before you can lead. You have to be willing to be a follower to be a leader. And in the years that I've spent leading worship and in the military and everything else, that's one key thing that I've had to learn, is you can't lead unless you follow. And the main thing as a worship leader, you have to follow God's heart, right? You have to follow what God is doing, what the Spirit's doing, and everybody's seen it. You have your on Sundays and your off Sundays, right? On Sundays, everybody's together. The whole band's got it together. Sound is insane. Nobody's voice cracks. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you notice, right? And the thing that happens, though, is when those happen, we don't use it to glorify God. We use it to glorify, like, man, I did really good today, or man, that vocal performance was just insane. It was out of this world. And then I feel like God kind of pulls His hand off of it a little bit, and then things start happening, and it humbles you, right? My encouragement to all of us, myself included, and I just feel like God is just kind of speaking this right now, is that you have to be willing to be led. And when you're leading worship or youth or whatever it is, your church and congregation, if you're the pastor, watch what the Spirit is doing. Watch what the Spirit is doing, and you notice when God's moving. It's not just a visual thing. It's an emotional thing. It's a spiritual thing. You can feel it. It's tangible, spiritually tangible. And so I just wanted to kind of give those words of encouragement. If you have any questions or comments or ideas or anything else you'd like to hear me talk about or sing, please drop it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And please share my page with your friends, and let's see how we can grow and just start worshiping together. All right, guys. God bless. I love y'all, and we'll see you soon.